Welcome back to another video talking about the fundamentals of a great photograph. Today we're going to learn more about white balance and the settings in our camera that help us control the really yellow pictures and also the really blue pictures that we see, and how we can compensate for those and still get those natural looking pictures. So I took a picture that I want to show you of up on the mountains where I was on this boat dock at a lake, and I tried every white balance setting that shows up in my camera. You can see in this picture that every white balance is a little bit different. There's a slightly warmer, a little more blue, and then we have a really dark blue, and then it kind of fades back. And that is all an effort to compensate for the light source. The light source is what controls the tone of our pictures dramatically inside, because different light bulbs give off a different tone. Inside, like the house lights, typically lights we have in our homes, are the really yellow lights. And then when we're at like where we work, typically the fluorescent lights, they're really cold lights, and so we warm that picture up just a little bit to kind of help out. So the white balance is intended to compensate for that. Even when we're outside, when we're in the shade, that's a little bit cooler than as if we were to be standing in the sun. Duh. But the tone of the photo also reflects that same feeling. So we can do this. But it seems a little tedious to me to every time I go take a picture is I got to change the white balance. And if I don't change it, then the picture's really going to be blue or a little bit too warm, and so I leave it on auto white balance. Why? Well, mainly because I feel auto does a pretty good job, and I don't feel like I need to worry about one more camera setting as I'm out taking a picture. So I leave it on auto. The other reason, the second reason that I leave it on auto, is because shooting in the raw file format allows me to then go back in post-production and change my white balance setting to any of the camera settings that you have, or do a custom white balance setting. This gives me the assurance that I don't have to worry about that when I'm out on location. If it's too cold or too warm, I can adjust it to be what I want. Here's a little thing about white balance though, a little tip as you're trying to decide, should your picture be warmer or cooler? Well, if you're taking pictures of people, if the tone is too cold, they often look kind of lifeless, kind of dead, kind of zombie-like. Or you can warm it up a little bit and kind of breathe some life into them. There is some preferences between photographers. You are the artist in this case, and so you can decide if the picture needs to be colder or warmer. I personally, if I like everything about the photo to be a little bit colder, I will then use a brush and warm up the model or the person in the picture so their skin tone is warmer, but everything around them is a little bit cooler. This is also contrast with warmer and cooler tones and adds some interest to the picture as well. So you decide which white balance you have and where in the picture you have white balance. You'll probably find that captivating photos are a little interesting when you have warm tones that fade into cooler tones. You see this in your sunsets and sunrises, because right where the sun comes up or goes down, you have a really warm spot, and as it fades into the sky, it becomes a little bit cooler. Okay, sunsets and sunrises look really, really pretty, and this is part of the reason why, is we have that contrast in the sky between warmer and cooler tones. So as you're looking at your pictures, take a look at the white balance. Now your photo challenge for today in this video is I do want you to practice changing your white balance. I want you to have an idea of what each one does, and I want you to take a picture of a person specifically, because just like I told you, the cooler the tone, the more lifeless they look. And so practice seeing that. I want you to see the difference in the tone. the slightly warmer the picture of a person, the more life and pleasing it seems to look. But I want you to practice using white balance to see this difference. And if you want cooler tones, that's fine. Practice with that. Take some landscapes with some cooler tones. See what your preferences are. And even look through some old photos if you need to kind of get an idea of what stands out to you in your style. Because some photographers have a pretty defined style of warmer and cooler pictures. So your own photos, looking at your favorite photographer online, take a look and see what their style is by just noticing the tone that they've taken in the picture, or if they have more than one tone, because they go from warm to cold. So that's your challenge. If you have any struggles with it, you let me know. I'll be happy to help.